on, you know where I'm at Creekside. Yeah, I've already been in once. Sorry about that. I didn't go live for that. I was on Facebook. Tried a Facebook live. Talk about underwhelming. Um, but I was sitting there getting ready to go live here, and I was like, yeah, I've never really given Facebook much of a try at this, you know. And normally, you know, people are quite interactive there. Well, at least when they comment on your post, right, you know, stuff like that, you know, whatever. But so I hit that button instead, and yeah, did a little bit there. But now I'm over here. Yeah, I don't expect, you know, too many people to join either, right? Totally unscheduled. But it's so sunny today, I just couldn't not do it. And was late getting down here, so the sun's getting low. But when I first got down here, there was a youngster in the creek. Well, he was on a four-wheeler fishing, and he was right here, just down from my spot here, right? So had a little conversation with him for a while, and yeah, he was catching, releasing, and he caught like three or four of them while he was sitting there. You know, not very big. And I'm still surprised that I don't see the trout everywhere like I used to do this year, time of year, right, when they're spawning. So kind of different. Maybe the last few years they were really pretty heavy. So maybe, you know, they go in cycles. But I'm sure it's fully natural what's happening. I was surprised because last year, man, they were so thick. It was insane. The year before that, wow. The year before that was like, that was when I was really tripped out by it because they were just, I mean, never seen like this. You come down here and just see them everywhere, everywhere. Could never see them any other time of the year because they're, you know, trout are, they're hidey. They're in their little hidey holes. And this time of year happens every year. You know, they get red around their gills and they're in the spawning thing and they're all doing their thing. And they give one flying fuck about me. I go right to the creek and they just swim in for a second and then they're back in that spot right as soon as I get out, right? So really kind of trippy. And then so naturally I'm bathing in their splooge. I must be good for this kid though. I don't know, whatever. But I'm down here hanging out with my favorite tree. Well, my favorite tree at this moment in time. Anyway, from being up here, I had one. I always have a favorite tree everywhere I go because I like to hang out with them. And you know, it's not crazy. Not crazy at all. Trees have been here since before we have, and they'll be here after. In fact, they have proven that the trees communicate through their roots, and all their roots are intertwined. So the largest organism on the earth, on the face of the earth, is the forest. And so, even though they're different continents, they're even connected through that. Apparently, they say that the rainforest here, one of the biggest rainforests on Earth, up here in Alaska, you know, extends all the way over to the taiga in Siberia and whatnot. So, wow, okay, but does stand to reason, yeah. And then, well, they're connected to the Earth too, so does stand to reason that they could communicate right through the medium of the Earth. I know, crazy, but oh, there's no science behind that. Well, science is actually spirituality's retarded cousin, right? Every once in a while, science will figure something out, and they'll figure it out, and then they'll want a big pat on the back and a medal and a participation trophy. You know, finally figure out something that spiritual folk have known forever. So funny, so funny. And everybody, oh, you trust the science? Yeah, fuck. Trust the retarded autistic baby. But I know that's a joke. It's part of a routine. I know. Not funny to the leftists, but hella funny to those of us who don't prescribe to labels. But yeah, I've been in once. It's not that cold anymore. Back to regular. It's probably about up. I'm sure it's got to be at least 40 degrees in there. Not bad at all. And so it's no big deal anymore. Still got a little bit of time of sun time left. Shadows already into the spot of the creek that I like to jump into. I don't know. I can't hardly see the screen, so I don't know what's going on. If there's anybody in the room, let's see. Oh, we got two people. Thanks. Right on. Good. Awesome. Welcome. Yeah, sperm of the moment here. I realized that I'm going to be on the road tomorrow and going to teach this class, and so I will not have any time for anything on Wednesday or Thursday probably. And so I thought, shit, this might be my only chance, so I'll just pop one off. And I looked out because I was been working on shit in the basement, right? And not only that, but I was tired from it. I took like a power nap, and I was like out. I was out. And I woke up like it was about 4, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Right? And so I went to get something to eat, and I saw it was blazing hot. I'm like, "Shit, I gotta go to the creek." Right? So I got that eaten, and which usually I don't do before I come down here. You want to make sure you have an empty stomach when you get in that cold water, and it'll burn the body fat right off you. But I was hungry, and I thought, shit, I'll just eat something real quick. So I didn't eat that much. And I'm already hungry again as usual. Fuck. But down here chilling. So I do a bit of one. I won't rattle on forever, but I could get off, maybe a half hour, 45 minutes, or maybe even an hour or something like that. So nice today. It is. Absolutely. This is what it's about, baby. Fuck, but May's halfway over, right? We're almost into June. Shit, it better be nice by now, for fuck's sakes. Right? It took a sweet time, but it's nice. It's nice, and I will accept all. I accept all good weather that comes, right? Because it's rare. So cheers. But yeah, down here chilling. I already bit off a little piece of bark. While I was on Facebook, I right before this, I showed that bit, right? Yeah, I'm sure everybody now is going to be like, fucking crazy motherfucker, right? If they do watch the replay of the live, I don't even know how it works over there. But I'm pretty sure that nobody was watching when it was live. Like, and Facebook's kind of not like that, right? I've seen people, but every once in a while, log on there and somebody they know that I'm friends with or something will be live. And first time I clicked on one, and it was just the dude's live camera going while he was driving down the road, and he wasn't even saying anything or anything. He was just drive, right? And I was like, okay. And I just clicked off of it because it was not interesting or exciting to me at all, right? And so Facebook is different. I don't think many people go on the lives while they're doing it there, and so couldn't tell anyway if there was. And so I just did my bit real quick and jumped in the creek, so that happened and whatnot. And then I don't know how long the stream was, wasn't that long. Cheers once again. But I was kind of going through my emails looking for the schedule for this class that I'm going to teach up here, right? I'm just a small part of it. Well, actually, there's maybe 6 or 8 people teaching different things, right? And there's another guy up there. So I don't know if it's a lady or a man, but somebody is scheduled to teach cedar weaving. And I was like, oh my God, right? They're the only other one that had, two different slots, well, 4 slots actually altogether. And because I guess that's rare too, kind of like I guess drum making is rare too now. They said they hadn't had anybody for years. They've been looking, and I was like, wow, really? Because I love to pass the skill on, right? It's one of my favorite things. And they're like, oh my God, that's awesome. And so I got a couple slots, and so I'll be there all day, and I'm excited. Can't wait, right? It's gonna be so much fun. I get to meet some other people, have a bunch of. Always good to teach this class. It's always so cool, right? I mean, when I think about it, had I not learned when I did, you know how many thousands and tens of thousands of dollars that less I'd have. Because seriously, the drum thing turned out to be quite. I mean, it's really awesome skill and very therapeutic and all that, but it turned out to be very lucrative as well. And we're always looking to try to be able to make a living off of things that we're passionate about. And so, man, I think back about it too, right? Because I learned how to make it in one class. Uh, there was an elder teaching it, Ben Snowball, who's passed away now. And that guy has taught probably thousands of people how to make drums, right? Amazing. I mean, I have much respect. And it's a skill. It's a skill. It's a life skill. And so drumming is very therapeutic too as well. And I was banging my drum quite a bit recently, but it's kind of slowed down a little bit. Right? I don't have to do it that much anymore, but it's very therapeutic and does help you a lot. But, well, what say? I'm going to take a quick dip for those of you with me. 2 people in the house, right on. Thank you for joining, guys. Oh, shit, it's Monk Mode. What's up? How's it going, Monk? Shit, long time no see. Good to see you, huh? Yeah. Been a while. It has been a while since I've seen you, friend. Good to see you. Yeah, you should join up with us sometime again. We miss you. It's always cool to have you on. Everybody's always enjoyed you. So, but one of you are probably busy growing up now. So, but that's cool. If you can find some time, hang out with us sometime, that'd be awesome. I'm sure everybody would be more than happy and have a billion questions for you, in the chat. because yeah, they always had questions for you anyway. So yeah, that'd be awesome if you wanted to do that. Probably go back on this Saturday, trying to make Saturday the regular day now, and so. But no promises. It is summertime, and summertime is a very rare occasion for us here. It is, man. Summer just like can't little part of the year. Just few months, right? 3 months tops. So we have to make hay while that sun shines, and it's shining right now. It's about ready to go behind the tree. So I'm going to go ahead and take a quick dip into the creek, and I'll be back out, and we'll talk a little bit more. I'll check out, see if anybody's going to comment. Like Monk, yeah. Feel free to comment if you want to, brother. So you got a couple up there, right? And we have 2 people in the room and 1 thumbs up. Awesome, yeah. I didn't expect many people to come on because they're definitely a spur of the moment thing here, and definitely not used to me going live on this day. So I'm going to turn the camera around. You can watch me jump in here. Oh, shit. Oh, God, I almost tripped. Fishing line wrapped around my ankle. Oh. Whoa. Ow. Oh, God damn. Oh, shit. Oh, God. Oh, 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 God. Shit. Yeah, not warm. Not warm at all. Not freezing, but not warm. So that's all you got to do. Jump in for a second, let the water suck the heat out of your body very quickly, because it does. That's what it does immediately. All the heat will be drawn out of your body much faster than it is any other way, and then the body will respond. It will start to, get busy creating different hormones and cortisol and adrenaline, because as we all know, the fight or flight response. The fight response, and Wim Hof explains it so much better, man. He jumps in the cold water. He goes, right now, happening. 300% more adrenaline, 300% more cortisol. He just goes through all things. And it happens instantaneously too, right? Kind of just like when you take your shoes off and ground to earth, which of course I'm naturally doing here. That change is so rapid that they can't even measure how quickly it happens. Apparently, this is what I've read and found out. But yeah, as soon as you connect your bare feet to the electromagnetics of the earth, the change is so quick that they can't even measure the speed of which it happens, because it's that fast. And what they say also, it will literally make every blood cell that you have repel each other, right? The magnetics will change, and so no blood clots then, right? Literally will all space out to as far as they can get from each other. Stuff like that, right? Amazing little things like that will happen to your physical body that are not possible through any other medium, other than, like they say, grounding to earth, or, getting in the cold water, or things like this, of this nature, that nobody ever does. And, so many people have told me, man, you better watch out, man. You might have a heart attack, you get in there, all that stuff, right? No, that doesn't happen. As a matter of fact, your heart is much stronger. The moment you get in the cold water, your breathing changes, right? You're breathing more, man. You get more oxygen. See, that can't be bad for you. It's actually good for you. And so, yeah, I know a lot of people think, that's bad for you. No, it's so good for you that you can't even measure the amount of positive change that you get from it. It's that much. And it's true. It's instantaneous, right? And I know this myself, personally for fact, because even before I ever knew any of all this, right? It was years ago. I was having depression. I was having a depression bout, and it was because we were using melted snow to water the plants. My mom was going out and getting the snow off the deck and melting it. And the thing I noticed, mosquito, second one of the day. I noticed that there was like a little sheen on top of it, like a little oil slick, right? And I'd never seen that in the water before. And I'm like, man, I didn't think anything about it. All right, maybe the bucket was dirty or whatever. And so after we used that bucket of water, the next one was like, it was the same way. And I'm like, hmm. So I was like, so it is different. Well, what's different about it? And I thought, well, whatever. And I kept dipping a cup into it, right? And when I dipped my cup into it, my hand would sometimes go into it. And after I thought about it later, realized that what was happening was those were toxins that were collected by the snow as it fell to the earth from all the fucking toxins they spray in the atmosphere, known as chemtrails. And they haven't been doing a lot of that up here lately, but back then, man, they were literally, you could see in grid patterns, right? Like they see it down south. So there's a great deal of and these are all nanoparticles of, heavy metals, barium, aluminum, all that, very bad for you. And so I didn't even think about it then, but I put it two and two together later. But that's what the snowflakes are doing all the way down, gathering these toxins, right? So don't eat the snow. But maybe this is why snow is flammable in some places now. But anyway, I didn't think about it. Snow was melting down. That was all the chemicals were sheened at the top. And as I dipped my hand in there, dipped my skin in there, man, those things right into my system and it literally just had me so fucked up it wasn't funny. And so naturally after I figured it out, I stopped doing that. But and everything went away, right? But at the time I didn't know what was going on and I was severely depressed and blah blah blah. It was early spring and I was having these depressed bad thoughts, where the little suicide voice comes in and says, man, right? And I'd never had that in my life. So I was like, what the fuck is this? What is this invasive thought? I knew something was up. There was something different was happening, right? But also I knew danger, shit. Because everything begins with an idea. Everything ever created by anybody ever started as an idea. And so some of them ideas get created to full fruition, others don't. And you want to make sure that these bad ideas that say, go kill yourself, but want to hope that those won't make it to fruition. So, see, and I thought about it immediately. I was like, what the fuck is this invasive thought coming in? Where's it coming from, right? I couldn't figure it out, but I knew immediately that I need to do something different so that this idea doesn't take root. And so I didn't know what to do. I was coming up blank, right? And I remember this whole story. The Alaska Native shaman used to tell the people, the villagers of that time, that era, past era, that if you want to strengthen yourself physically, mentally, and spiritually, all at once, say, go sit in the cold water for the day. And they go, wow, for the day? And I was like, well, I can't do that, but, see if I can do it for an hour. And so that's what I started to do. And honestly, the first time I went in, I barely made it 20 minutes, right? And I was like, fuck, couldn't do it anymore, right? 20 minutes, made it. I was like, well, it wasn't an hour, but 20 minutes, something. And so second day I made it to about 30 or 35, almost 40 minutes, right? So by the third day I was like, all right, I'm gonna make the hour today. And I brought my camera that day and I filmed it. And then after that I brought the camera every day for the next week and filmed the whole process. And some of those can be seen on the channel, but you can see the profound change that happened within me in that 7-day time. For one, I was cured of all the depression. You can literally see the one it was the fourth day where the depression, you can watch it leave me, right? Literally, boom, it's so obvious, right? Literally see the depression leave me. And then after that, I'm like, my whole attitude is different. It changed, and I look different. By then I have a tan, right, because of the sun exposure, and it smile on my face and everything, right? I was 12 pounds lighter because I lost 12 pounds in 7 days of straight body fat burning off me in an hour a day. And multiple things happened. But when the depression left me, it was really cool because it was right here at this very spot I'm at. And I remember I set up the camera. It was at night too. I missed the warm time at, this time between 5 and 6, 4:30 and 6 p.m., right? I was down here at 9. It was like 9:30. It was overcast and shit. And I was just like, it wasn't warm or anything. And I knew it was going to be hard to warm up. And I was just like, fucking bad mood. Look at the camera and I'm like, fuck, man, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here, right? I think I've lost my mind, right? and I trudge out in the water, and I turn around and I look back at the camera, and I said, "This is stupid," or something like that, right? And I sit down in it, and I don't see them, but the camera picks them up perfectly. Then see right enters into frame is a school of fish, right, in the creek, and they come. I sit up, it looks like I'm looking right at it, but I don't see him, right? I'm not paying attention, right? And they would just literally circle around me. And it was a school of salmon and a school of sockeye, right? And I didn't even know they were in the creek right at that time, right? I had seen some of them occasionally before, but I hadn't spent that much time down here at that time. I just started to do it then. And I sat back in the creek. When I came back up, I scared the fish, and they, right? And I was like, holy fuck. I looked around and I was like, holy shit, salmon, right? And the big grin on my face after that from then on, right? And by the end of that fucking video, I was a completely different person than the asshole that sat down, right? And so you can literally watch the depression depart. And I love that little bit too, right? See my bad attitude just fucking leave, right? Evaporated, and it never came back. Well, not all of it. Anyway, I know that's a fun story, but. And I remember I was just fucking sitting there watching those salmon. I was crawling around the creek with them and shit. And I didn't spawn with them though. But it was a blast. I remember, and I was talking to them, of course, I'm yakking away. I'm like, because they were beautiful. They were gorgeous fish. And I was telling them that. I was like, man, look at you, you're so pretty, right? And I let them pass. And then the next day I was down here and I was fishing. But that was such a fun year. I can't remember what it was. It might have been 2019, 2018, 2019, around there. So I have a lot of video of me from that year down here, and that some of it got published, some of it didn't, right? I go through all types of range of emotion down here. But it's my spot, baby. And the sun is going behind the trees now. Shit. Shadow's right there, so. Mwah. I'll probably won't be hanging out here much longer. As soon as the sun goes out of view, it sucks. It does. It's woo. But I wanted to share it with you guys a little bit anyway. So, getting prepped, going up, teach the class here. Gonna leave tomorrow, drive up Square Banks and hang out with my cousins. And maybe go visit my auntie and stuff. I guess I gotta go over to my other auntie's house. She passed away and stuff. I'm gonna go over there and help my cousin because he helps me a lot. I'm gonna go over and help him to do whatever work needs to be done there. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna insist that we go over there. As a matter of fact, and because I don't think anybody's been over there in a while. And you can't just leave places, right? Especially even in the summer. You just can't just leave a place unattended. Up here in Alaska, it's different, right? I mean, like some places you can lock the stuff up and leave it, but hard to do that up here. It's just not the same. I am impressed though because they're working on a lot by where I live, down the street. Now, I never thought I'd even see the day that this lot would get worked on. Man, it's been like literally a junkyard, right? Literally bunch of rusted out crap all over it. And my mom used to talk about that too, right? Because that corner lot, I got to drive by it every time, twice, because you go around it and come around front and back, right? And at first there wasn't that much. The trees were not that big, and so you could literally see all the junk, right? But 35, 40 years later, they're grown up bigger, and you can hardly see past them into the junk there. So, it wasn't so much of an eyesore anymore. But just this last year, somebody came, and noticed it right away. Wow, shit, that gate's open, right? There's somebody here. So somebody inherited or somebody bought or something, and some type of change happened. And somebody's there working on it now. And so I always slow down and look at it, right? Because it's always cool to see. And they've done a lot of work there, and they got rid of a lot of stuff, and there's still some good stuff on there. But the thing that I notice immediately when I look in there is there's a structure that's like a Quonset hut, but it's more like an A-frame than a Quonset hut, right? It's not rounded, it's not A, but it's kind of angled, right? And that thing is still standing, right? It's still there, right? And it's been there for at least, well, for as long as the property's been there, so virtually, and it's been over 40 years, right? And that structure has withstood 4+ decades of the fucking the nasty weather in the winter. Remember, I've been telling you, man, the last few winters sustained, well, not less, this last winter was mild in comparison. But the two before that, man, dead ski sustained winds of 50, 60 miles an hour, gusting up over 100 for 6, 8 days at a time in the middle of the winter, right? And just making it the most miserable, especially when the power's out. It was the year before Mount Pass. And wow, man, dude, it was a battle. It was a struggle. That was the year that made me go, fuck this place, right? Who would want to live here? Why? But I guess that's rare, especially even in the cycle. It's rare to be like that, from what I'm hearing. Because I asked everybody, right? Everybody that I know, have you been here a long time? Are the winters always like this? And they go, no, they're usually not as bad as this. But and they so you can see they're thinking back, right? And they're like, yeah, no, this is a little worse than they usually are, right? And so I'm like, oh, good. That tells me that it's just the peak of the cycle, which could be 10, 20, 30-year cycle. Who knows? But I like to think of it as a 10-year cycle, and I've always kind of based my whole thing on a 10-year cycle, which makes a lot of sense. And usually, if you follow that, then you can almost kind of predict what's coming. And so, with that equation, in place, I see this being a pretty nice summer and a pretty nice year, because the worst is already peaked, and we're on the get back down to the mellow. Next 8 years should be pretty decent. So I can only pray. But anyway, it's turning out that way, because it's turned out to be pretty nice, even though it was late, everything was late melting and breaking up. It's going good, and we've gotten rain. There was a big dry spell because that happened last year, and there was 30 days of no rain and nothing but sun right at the start, and we thought, shit, it's gonna be good. And then after that, the rain clouds came in and did not end for the rest of the summer. Right? And so that first bit of sun was all we got. After that, it was just it reminded me of catch can, just rain, rain, rain. It was cold. It was cold enough at night where I lit the stove. Right? Like, no, it was not. It was not a good year, right? And it looked like it was going to be the way it was sunny like that to start with, but after that, nothing but rain, hardly any sunshine at all. Fucking cold the whole time, right? And then I kept waiting for warm up, and it never did. And then all of a sudden August was here and it started getting colder, and I was like, God damn it! 2 fucking months of summer? Fuck this, right? But it looks like we're going to get our regular 3 month summer this year, right? We're not quite into it yet. June, July, and August. That's the summer here. And then you get the lead in and out in May. And, September. Sometimes you get good September. I got to admit that. Sometimes the September can also be included into the summerish months. But towards the end of it, by September 20th, you're way into fall by then. And naturally, the spring and fall seasons are not 3 months. They're not a quarter of the year. No, they're fucking 1 month period, right? If that, right? They're quick, because once it starts to turn, and like when it starts to break up in the spring, boom, happens quick. 1 month, everything's melted, and we're into summer. Same thing with the fall, right? As soon as the leaves start to fall, you get 1 month of that, and boom, snowfall, right? So the season is much different up here. Everything is temperature driven, and the sunlight in the summer is like nonstop, 18, 20 hours of fucking sunlight. Just fucking wake up at 4 in the morning, blazing sun. Try to go to sleep that night, 2 in the morning, sun's still going down, right? Weird shit. And this is why we get those record-setting vegetables growing up here, because of the amount of daylight they get. Right here in the valley, it's well known for the farming here, because we got a nice southern-facing direction, and that's why this place, and not only that, but the soil here is really rich and it's really deep, and a lot of the reasons why they made the farms here. And so it's always been farming type community, and so very good for that. And this is why I think that the geothermal greenhouse, even albeit it's not going to be very big, it's going to be a small one that I build into the yard. Hopefully this year, if I get everything going the way it's looking like it could, the funds will be rolling in, and I'll be able to get that done. And so that'll be awesome, right? Because it would be so cool to have it set up so to where this winter I could be going in and out of it and still have things growing throughout the winter, and be able to go in there, and guys, it'd be just so sweet. It's so good for the health and everything. Like, instead of being cabin fevered up inside the house, right? To be able to go into the greenhouse, because that's the idea, is to try to build a passageway from the basement into the greenhouse. I know it's a lofty goal, but that's the kind of design I got laid out. Is that we're going to build kind of like a semi-submerged walkway that you just leave, so you can leave from the house and go right over and connect into the greenhouse, right? And so you won't have to go outside into the cold in the winter. Just go right down through in there, and then tend to the plants and stuff, and then just hang out there. Shit, I'm going to build a little bunk room inside there in the middle of it too, right? Where you can literally take a nap right in there. So I got it all laid out. And so praying that will happen this year. And it won't take much, because all we have to do is dig a bunch of holes and then build the structure, the above ground structure, and pretty much leave the ground bare in the inside. And so that way you're directly connected to earth, and you walk around in there barefoot and be grounded to earth year round, instead of just shit. In the winter, man, I just have a little melted spot right outside the porch where I go out, run out, and jump out and stand in it for a minute, so I can get my grounding to earth in at least a couple times a week. And it's the only way I can get that in, because I have to keep that spot clear. And it's not thought out by any means. It's frozen ground, but it's at least there won't be 2 feet of snow, 3 feet of snow on it, right? A little barren spot right by the porch, right? So that it'll be cool to have this geothermal greenhouse, right? So that way I can continue to be connected to earth year round, because that is extremely good for you. Grounding to earth, baby. And so I've been doing, got feet out since I come down here, and now the sun's going away. So, but it was fun. Had a blast. Probably not gonna hang out too much longer, because I still got some work to do back home. I want to get a few things done. I want to change my tires before I head up tomorrow. Got a new jack for that. Thank God, man. It's not gonna take forever this time, at least. I got a floor jack now, and I have to use that phony little scissors jack included into the truck, right? The cheap ass jacks that they include, right? I got this big 3-ton fucking floor jack, right? It's on wheels. It's boom, boom, up, boom, boom, down, right? It's going to be boom, boom. I have those fucking tires changed in a fraction of the freaking time, because I got the tires are all on rims. So going to be so easy for me this time to change them. And then I got to bring my spare and get it fixed. Try to do that tomorrow before I head out. And maybe I'll try that live streaming on the road again. That was kind of cool. This time I'll set up a little phone holder for it, so I don't sit there and hold it, right? And we'll try for that again. And we can do it before we get to the pass, but I'm not going to try to go through the pass and do it, because if it gets cut off, then the stream's still going, but with no signal. And then got this big blank spot in it, and not only that, but it's all going to process and blah blah blah. So I'll try to do a couple different spots on the road that are cool. If you guys join, you'll be able to see a couple little different spots here. And so I remember the comments on that. Everybody saying, "Man, that's beautiful." Because when I went last time, man, it was still winter wonderland, right? So this time it'll be completely different, because the snow will be receded, and there'll be greenery happening. See the green happening around me. Just this last few weeks, the last week mostly is when it's really greening out. Now the leaves are all popping out. You can't see through the trees that far anymore, and there's some color, right? So that just happened in this last week. I'll give you a quick pan around if you want to check it out. And my buddy the tree here. And we got upstream here, up towards the spot where I used to hang out in the winter. Coming down to, this is where I sit, and usually down there a little closer when this foliage grows in here. And then the spot where I'm getting into the creek is right here. Normally that's my spot right here. And then the spot where the kid was fishing when I came down was right here. And he was doing all right. He went down. I didn't hear him go all the way, so I think he's fishing right down below me a little bit. But never know. He might have went. Sounded like he stopped right down there, though, right around the corner, which is also good grounds. And then back here, of course, you can see, if you can see the black hole back there, is the buried bus. I don't know if I can see it. I can't tell, Brian. I can't tell. I can't hardly see the screen at all. But the buried bus, which is the fish camp part of the fish camp that historically was here. Now you could tell that place was here for a long time, and by the time I first came down here, my mom's lived here for 35 years, but I didn't come down here to the creek until like the first time I came down here was until like 20 years ago or something like that, and I just kind of rode around it. I didn't hang out at the creek like I'm doing now. I just kind of walked the trail or rode the trail or whatever I did, and I remember that was a long time ago because it was like it was fall time, and I remember I was going by the creek and I heard a splash and I looked down and I saw salmon. I was like, oh, salmon, huh? And I didn't think much about it. I was in a completely different state of mind back then, right? And I just didn't think much about it and kept going and never thought to go fishing here or anything like that, or never had any ideas of hanging out here. But I remembered that when I started to come down here, and then when I finally did see the fish in here, I was like, yeah, that's right. I remember that a long time ago. I did see, because I think I only saw one fish in here with one salmon. It looked like it might have been a coho or something. And those cohos come on late season, right, like that too, right? So I was like, that's right, there's salmon here, right? But I'm so delighted to see that there's a nice run that comes in here. And now the sockeye, they're all going right up to the lake, right? They don't spawn here in the creek or anything, right? They're strictly zooming by, right? Then they're having a blast too, right? You could just literally see, they almost have expressions on their faces, right? And they're playing around with each other. They're, you can see that they're just like nipping at each other and have a blast, like, kind of like how you would be if you were going to like a party or something. But you can see them, they're all, yeah, right out, man. And so you can see, like, sometimes, most of the time they're in a formation, and there's usually a lead fish, right? And they're not just dumb, brain dead things, right? They're smart, they're intelligent, they have brains, and you can tell that they. I also have seen that they have ones that they want to mate with, and ones that they don't. I noticed that. I used to think that they just spawn and they don't care who fertilizes their eggs or whatever. Right now, that's not true, because I was down here, and there was two of them down this way. This is late season. They're cohos, and they do spawn in the creek. And there was one that was chasing one around, chasing around. I mean, I was like, God damn, guys, slow down. You ain't got much energy left, right? Don't waste it chasing each other around. What are you doing? And I didn't realize what was going on. And it was a male fish that was trying to get with a female, right? And then she didn't want anything to do with them, but there was another one that she didn't want to hang with, right? And he was like, at first he was like, because when they came up, there was three of them, right? And one kept, boom, chasing one off, run around, chasing him off, and he'd be hang back, and then bam, chasing him off, right? And I didn't know any better. I was fishing and I ended up catching the one, right? And so when he was gone, the other one was like, oh, I'm on her now, right? And he was just like, now it was nonstop. They're circling around. I was like, that's different. What are they doing? Why is it different? And it dawned on me, yeah, I caught the protective male, and now the fucking horn dog male is just hassling the girl to no end, right? I thought, oh no, I fucking felt bad about it. So I ended up fucking catching the horn dog one and getting him off her ass, and then she relaxed, but still she didn't have her chosen mate, but she definitely didn't want to mate with that guy. Yeah, I was like, wow. So I learned a few things on that. Oh shit, is that comments? Hell yeah, Joe Crow. Do you want to start a podcast with me? Yep. Yeah, we probably could do that. We get together on a day where we got the same day. Sure, that would be awesome, for sure. And then we got Rooster Cogburn. Rooster, what's up? The sun just set here in California. Oh no shit, huh? No, we still got a bit of time here. I don't know what time it is. My clock isn't available at this moment, but I mean, it's probably 6 or 7, getting on there. Like we still got multiple hours left now that we're into daylight hours. But see, it's going below the tree now, and so the shadow. I'm getting in the shade now, and so I'm cooling off very quickly because I'm still wet. Shorts are still wet from getting in, but I'm gonna have to change and stop here pretty quick because fuck, it is getting. I'm just noticing it right now. I'm getting cold. And so I'm about ready to close this down. But yeah, Joe Crow, for sure. Let's talk about it. You got my email address and stuff? Oh, we got AA Ron too, right? Beautiful day. Yes, it was too. It was beautiful here. I did a short live with Facebook, and so that's why I was late doing it here. I probably won't do that again because Facebook was underwhelming, and I probably would have had better time here, and I know I would have. But we'll do that next time. When I get back from Fairbanks, we'll do one. We'll do another one down here. If we have the decent weather. And so, but yeah, let's talk about there, Joe Crow, for sure. my friend. My email address, paranormalaska@gmail.com. If you have that, email me. Says it would be fun. Also, I noticed the moon in the summer goes south like the sun does in the winter in the northern hemisphere. Yeah, yeah. Counterbalances to each other. And I used to think that the sun was faster, and stuff like that, but it's just the angle is different here. So everything's so different here in Alaska than it is anywhere else because of the elevation or the elevation, the lat latitude, and so the attitude. But yeah, let's talk about that, and maybe next live we can iron it out because that would be cool. I always like to have somebody else to talk to, right? Just sitting here rattling on solo. I'm quite a talker, but it does get difficult to fill the time. And that's why it's always cool to have guests on when we're streaming on StreamYard because it's easy to pull a guest in, right? And they can fill in when I don't have anything to say. And it's always good to have like Jack, because he also can pull hours talking solo, and so he's always good for that. And of course, our good friend's always interesting to listen to, and he speaks in the 432, and this is the reason why I was hooked on his voice too, right? Like everybody was, I don't know why I want to listen to this guy, right? But I do, right? What is it? What is it? Because we all know, it's like all of us. We don't agree on 100% of everything, but our hearts are in the same place. And that's what makes our group strong, right? And even though it's a shadow of what it formerly was because of all the censorship and whatnot, the core is still there. And that's what I love about it. And so a great deal of help for me because I've been solo the last couple of years. I mean, totally, 100% solo. And so very difficult. For those of you who don't know what it's like, it's truly not like anything you can really imagine. Right? You literally have to go through it in order to understand it. And I don't know many people who have literally spent, years. Sure, I talk to people when I'm working at a job and stuff like that, but it's not the same as like if you're living with somebody, especially if you're like in a marriage situation, right? You're not alone ever. Even if you are alone, you still have your support system that you're gonna go to any minute, right? When you get home. There they are, right? And so if you haven't flown solo, it's different. And it's difficult because you only have yourself to rely on and you gotta dig deep, especially going through what I was been going through last year, right? It's truly taking a big facet out of my character. And this is why people always say, why aren't you that? Like my ex Cynthia, still communication with her every once in a while, and she said, saw the stuff I've been posting. Now, mind you, the songs that I wrote were a long time ago when I was really going through the thick of it, and only just getting published now. So I'm not in that state, but that state did happen, and I want to make sure that people can feel the emotions. As a matter of fact, that's the biggest thing that's helped me here is getting that out. Right? As soon as I got that out, I'm telling you, everything changed. It was just a huge relief to get that out of me, which wouldn't have gotten out of me had I not exposed it and that everybody would know. It would still be stuck here, right? So that was the greatest help that I had. Joe Crow, what's your email? Okay, let me write it. God damn it, I'm on my phone, so I don't really know how to interact here. And this is a new phone and stuff, so, ugh. But it is paranormalaska@gmail.com. I'll try to get it to you. I'll put it on a comment on one of the videos when I get home because I don't really know how to work this here. And I don't see there's not a spot for me to comment down here either and interact with you guys like it is at home and like at StreamYard where I can just immediately, right, play it. So Joe Crow rides the Trophics crazy, so simple, unlike NASA. I was still talking about the moon thing. AA Ron, can't wait to get back to Sitka. Oh, no shit, right? Hell yeah, Sitka. Love that place, man. Grew up fishing down there. Sitka's amazing. I mean, if there was another place that I would want to live in Alaska, it would be there. It would be in Sitka, and I've thought about that too. I was thinking about moving there, right? But now I'm in it for the long haul here, and until at least I get the trust set up and I get my successor in place, who I got to talk to finally for the first time, my heir and successor, my nephew Corey. His mother, my sister, passed away years ago, and promised her that I would look out for him. And I've getting back to that, right? We were busy and apart for a long time, and so still are. He's still down south. I'm up here, but we're back in contact now, and I've informed him that you're gonna have to take over, and so he's fully accepted that, and he will be doing that as it comes into the future and as I get the trust set up and all that. So all these things take a long time, right? Slow snail process. So don't let your successors or heirs go through that process, because every will there ever is has to go through a probate court. That's going to take years, and who knows what's going to happen in it. And they do that so that way the ultimate owner of the real property, the state, can get its fingers on it again. And because if they got this thing they call the failure of heirs, the inheritors, if they fail, then the state says, oh, well, you failed, all ours again, right? And so don't let that happen. And here in Alaska, the laws are such that they are for the will. They would rather have a will than not. And because there's not a lot of population up here, and there's a lot of land, and they need us fucking jungle fucking monkeys to do the work, right? Because they're not going to do it. They're just going to sit on their ass and say, I own that land, but sit here with my hand on my dick, right? That's how it works in the feudal system. And I've been studying that lately, and very illuminating to know this. Yeah, but the state is the ultimate owner. But anything in a trust is set aside. Right? But those trusts, they don't go on forever either. And that's the thing about a trust. Everything about a trust, you have to constantly ask yourself, anybody named in the trust, the question is always, but what about when they die, right? And you must make provisions for what happens then, right? And that's the whole thing about trust, and that's why they're finite. They can't go on forever because you don't know who your future issue will be right yet, right? And so they'll all go on, but you can write it up to where your successor then names their successor and so on and so forth, right? But that trust will only last as long as you can keep it going. It won't just automatically go on ad infinitum. No. But it's a lot better than the will situation, because the will definitely finite, and the trust has a much longer period and can continue to go as long as you got the right people to succeed you. They can keep it going and going and going, right? But you got to write it all up and you got to file it all. Otherwise, it doesn't happen. And the rulings on the trust, as I've been learning, is that though there's multiple different types of trusts, living trust, all that kind of stuff, they all fall within two categories, and that's revocable and irrevocable trusts. Every trust that's ever been made is either one of those, even though they have different stipulations throughout them, and they go to multiple different types. Those are the two types. The two main types are revocable and irrevocable. Revocable means that you can decide to say fuck it and sell everything and just eliminate the trust if you want to. Revocable. Or the irrevocable, once you set it up and file it that way, you cannot sell it. And that's why it cannot be taxed or anything like that, and cannot be taken. Irrevocable. And that's the kind I'm going to set up, which will only last. It'll only be that way for my lifetime. As soon as I pass, then my successor will have the ability to either make another irrevocable trust for him being the trustee and make it go on that way to where he can't sell it, or he can name it as a revocable trust and be able to do that within his lifetime if he chooses. And so I'm pretty sure he's going to do the same thing I'm going to, right? Because I'm not greedy. I don't want this. Right? I want it to be for the next gen. I want it to go on. I want to stay in the family. And if I make an irrevocable trust, then that's the best way I can ensure that. And so that's what I'm setting up myself. Right? I will be the trustee, have ownership powers over it, but will not be the owner and will not be able to sell it, even if I want to. So, because I don't want to. And money's never been, it's not my thing. It's the love of money is the root of all evil, not the money itself. So, as we all know. Joe Crow, I would move up there if we make Monet doing the podcast enough to live. Oh, that would, yeah, no doubt. Hey, it's a different, you got to be a different type to live up here. That's why I always say Alaskans were different, right? And you really got to be made of a different cloth to make it through these fucking winters up here. I swear to God, right? A lot of people think that, man, I'm going to move up there. have fun because they come up here in the summer and it's badass, and then they go through a winter here and they're like, fuck this, never, right? And sell out and gone, right? So the only reason why I do is because my whole family and stuff is from here and it's in my blood, right? Otherwise, fuck yeah, I'd be in Hawaii. But then again, I can't handle the heat for too long either. I've found that out. Like, even though I want to, I'll go there and, like, Hawaii, first winter I spent over there, by the end of the winter, I was there for like 5 months. I was like, God damn it, I got to get the fuck out of here. Fuck this place. The furnace lands, I called it, right? And I called it Hell Hawaii. And people were like, oh, Hell Hawaii, what? They hate me, for saying that. But no, climate, it was just too much of a shock for me, right? Constantly hot all the time. You could never get cold over there. Just battle to try to stay cool. It just wears on you, wears you thin, especially when you come from a cold climate. Right? And so I found out right away, yeah, most I could do is spend, I could spend 3 months there, and then by then I'm just like, get me the fuck out of here, right? So you're kind of, you're stuck in the mortal coil that has been conditioned by your conditions. And so no matter what your desire is, your body has those limitations. And so it's just like, you don't know if you're going to get seasick or not. When you go out on the ocean, you get seasick, man, you never want to go out on it again. Right? You want to think, oh, fuck, I'm going to sail around the earth, and you get a seasick, and you're like, fuck, I'm never getting on a boat again, right? There goes that desire. It's the same kind of thing. The body gets what the body wants. And the mind, it changes itself all the time. So, but yeah, that would be awesome. I always tell everybody, hey, you want to move up here? Fuck me. But be prepared for, the inevitability that body might not want it. But there's people who come up here and love it in the winter too, right? But they're rare, and that's why we have such a small population here and always will, because it's a rare breed that can tough it out in the conditions up here. Sure, the summer's great and everybody loves it, but the winters are, the deciding factor. It's not up to you. It's up to how you handle it. So it can be hard. Yeah, it is. And you're right. And Joko said, what did the judge say to you? He said nothing to me. They wrote it in a report and sent it to us. And they said that I met my burden. As far as my mother's holographic will, which is a legal document, but wouldn't have the ability to be validated had I not made 13 separate legalese statements about it, prima facie, which means on face value, right? So on face value, I looked at it and said, yes, this was written by the tester, and the tester had testamentary capacity at the time, and blah, 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 13 legalese statements, right? If I had not made those 13 statements officially on a document and filed with the court, I would not have given the court the ability to validate. Pretty fucking heinous, right? Yeah, but that's how it works. And so I met my burden, and so he recommended that the legal document, which fits the criteria of the law to be such as a holographic will, be validated because I met my burden, and the law is all supported. And so, even though my one brother was like, I protest, I should get everything because Mom said. Basically, is all he's saying, right? All that's just hearsay and not admissible in the court. His opinion. It's not the laws aren't based on his opinion. They're based on all types of other shit, and anything to be entered into it needs to fit the criteria, and he just doesn't understand that, and so he gets to cry for the rest of his life now. Fuck me, mine. And he's living in a fantasy world anyway, because my mom never said anything. I think that all the shit he's saying, right? Never said. Everybody knows it too. And the ones that do have a little bit of a smarts to them and realize that, yes, the law must be followed, have pretty much not said anything, right? They've realized that their goose is cooked, and because there's only six ways they can attack that document, and they have not even attacked one of those 6. And so it stands because they can't. It's literally a legal document that the 6 points they can attack it on can't. I mean, I can easily prove that no. And so they got it through their head that they now realize that a couple of them have anyway, because I haven't seen anything entered in yet. And I've entered another motion myself for the final judgment. And so we're going to see what that's going to happen. Still hasn't happened yet. So the final judgment is only the recommendations in, and usually they go with it. So winters are hardcore in Alaska, but Texas summers are 114. 100% different down there. I've been down there. 100 degrees down there is like 75 up here, right? You get up over 80 up here, it's like being in 120 in Arizona, right? Because it's stifling here. Atmosphere is different. And so you get anything over 90 degrees up here, man, you are in hell. And it's way different than being in 120 in Arizona with thinner air and stuff like that, right? It's manageable down there. It's not manageable up here. If it ever got up to 100 degrees up here, oh my fucking God. Right? And it does sometimes at Fairbanks, it'll break 100. And it's so you tell you what, man, you're just like going, what the fuck? And so not very pleasurable. So best temperature up here, 79, baby. So Aaron can't win for losing. It almost seems that way. But if you do understand the law and work within its means, yes, you can win. But they make it. This is why laws are written the way they are. Very convoluted, very frustrating, very hard to understand. You got to know the legalese. It's literally a different language. And most people, the layman, it's written so the layman will get frustrated and walk away. And that's what usually happens to everybody. And I didn't have that luxury because I couldn't walk away. So I had to force myself through it. And like I said, I didn't understand it even to begin with. First day of reading those fucking laws, I was just like tired. I was exhausted from just trying to read them. And wasn't even really quite getting it. But when I went to sleep that night, I woke up the next day, because my mind continued to think about it while I was sleeping. I grasped a few things, right? And so I thought, all right, second day I was like looking up terms and everything like that and starting to understand it. And by the third day, man, I had all my notes and I knew what to write. It took me 3 more days to do it. And so 6 days altogether to craft the motion that saved my mom's property, right? And had I not done that, would have lost. Would have 100% lost it all. So very lucky for me that I had, the ability to grasp it, which is, I'm not trying to brag or anything like that. It's hard to get. And other people have told me that too. I said, man, it's a small time you've spent in this legalese thing, you really grabbed it. And I'm like, I had no choice. I had to. And I'm grateful that I actually had the capacity to be able to bullhead my way through it and figure it out. And so the second motion was much easier to do. I did it in a matter of hours because most of it was just based on part of the first motion, right? And the first half was word for word. I just copy and paste it. And then I had to delete the second half and rewrite the second half, but it only took me a few hours to do that, like 5-6 hours. So it was a lot easier this time. And so I could see, yeah, I certainly could be a paralegal because of that. And so I might even follow that now again. I thought, shit, I might as well do it. Why not? Right? Might as well. If I can understand it, I should take advantage of it. But I tell you what, the reason why I didn't run after it the first time because I was like, I had such a headache from the shit. I didn't want to constantly be doing it, right? But now I feel like I would be doing other people a great disservice by not at least going to, because a lot of people, just like I'm telling you, I'm trying to tell everybody this stuff, right? You better know for a fact that even if you enter a will into any court, that you would better say those 13 fucking statements about it, or you're not going to allow the court the ability to validate it, which is, in my mind, that's quite heinous, right? They'll say, oh yeah, that's all you got to do. No, that's wrong. You're lying. But they look at it like they're giving you legal advice, which they can't do, but they're supposed to tell you the procedure. And so they should have said, well, actually, you have not given us the ability to validate. The procedure says you have to do this, right? Nobody said any of that. I had to figure it out on my own. And I know there's fucking probably tens of thousands of other people, if not millions of other people that don't understand that really need to. Otherwise, you do stand to lose all. So, yeah, right? So I go on about it all the time. We were at my buddy's house talking about it last night, and everybody's they're interested for the first cunt hair of a moment, and then immediately as the legalese coming out of my mouth starts to fucking smash them in the face, they bluntly move. Then pretty soon they're walking away from me, right? And that was happening again last night. And it's sad because, all their lives will be affected by it, probably. because everybody's got ancestors, and those ancestors, they have a will. You have to go through it, right? They don't know yet, but it's like I didn't choose to do this. Right? I didn't choose to. My mom made the choice to leave the property to me, and my siblings made the choice to contest it. So injected into it, stuck in the middle. But had I not done what I did, I'd be kissing it all goodbye right now. And so the future generation. Would no longer have, it'd be gone, poof, gone. A little bit of Jew money, and it's all over. As it stands now, if I can continue to, get done what needs to be done, then yes, this real estate, this real property will stay within the family for at least as long as I'm alive, anyway. However long that be, could get hit by a truck anytime. But that's what it's going to take. It's going to take a pretty big fucking truck to take my ass out too, right? But chance of that happening pretty low. I already know that I'm not lucky enough to be able to cut out of this game early. I got to get a pass. And so, but yeah, that's how it goes. We had you won, right? Well, not quite yet. Final judgment is in yet, but yes, I am winning, so to speak. But not me winning; it's my mom winning. Joe Curry, hang out near the courthouse and charge for advice. You cannot do that. That would be practicing law. It's illegal. You can't do it. Otherwise, shit, everybody'd be doing it, right? No, you gotta go. You gotta pass the bar and all that shit if you're gonna give any legal advice. No, I can't do that. The only thing I could do is volunteer time. Probably not at the courthouse, but someplace else, maybe a native advocacy place or something like that. Volunteer time to help people fill out their own paperwork is the only thing you could do. You could just help them through the procedure, but you can't give legal advice because that's only for the club. So a lot of, like I said, man, shit's frustrating, right? Everybody's got that same idea, right? No, you got to follow the fucking laws, and they're made in such a way that virtually impossible, right? Ron says, "Do you speak native?" I do not. I know a handful of words, just like I know little bits of different languages and stuff like that, and a little bit of legalese, right? I know little smatterings of it, enough to understand it a little bit, but no, I do not. So, but I say, when I say a day, that is a greeting. That's a Athabascan greeting. It means I greet you warmly, right? A day, ADE, a day, and that's either it can be hello or it could be a greeting or a farewell. It could be a fond farewell as well. So kind of like aloha in Hawaii can be hello or goodbye too, right? Same thing with a day. So I do know that much and a little bit more, but Logan Garville, you're being spied on, Reg. That plane flew over last week. I know, right? See, the planes aren't as much as they used to be. Fuck, when I first started coming down here, man, it was all day, every day. And as I was talking about last time, the fighter jets are totally absent, which are usually they're training here all the time, especially this time of year. Have not heard one of them still. So very strange. Very strange because I'm used to that. I'm used to hearing those jets constantly. So very strange. George Crow, maybe now that you won, it's time to move on and live your life, brother. Wish I had a house and land. Yeah, if it was only that easy, bro. Right? If I move on and live my life where? Right? Definitely not easy to get a house and land. And why would I? I mean, I've already got one. Now I've got one. I'm going to say, okay, fuck this and go try to struggle my way through get another one. That doesn't really make a lot of sense, bro. So, no, I promised my mom that I would do my best, and I'm doing that. And so that's my life now. No choice in it left anymore. I've already made that. That decision was made, and now I'm living with that. And in order for me to fulfill my word, which I will do, no matter if it kills me, that yes, you see what I mean? I can't just move on and go live my life somewhere else. No, my life now is this. And so protecting this land, and that's what I'll do. So I'm here, baby. Choice has been made. So, and now I just got to accept this as my life. Because I have a house and land to look after, and it's a responsibility is bigger than me. Promises made to my family and responsibility towards their ancestors. Even though I don't have, most people aren't my direct descendants, they're still my family blood, and that means a lot to me, and I'm not going to shirk that duty. And I'm the only one who can do it right now. I'm the only thing standing between the state and the land is me. So if I disappear, poof, it's gone. And that'd be a great disappointment, not only to myself, but everybody. So, yeah, living my life, this is not what it is. So, I've accepted that. Got to be done. So Shadow Mask. Hey, what's up, Shadow? Don't go making hikers go missing. I know, right? Yeah, shit. No, I'm not the heinous scum that are fucking disappearing a million people a year. No, I'm not that part of that machine. Matter of fact, I'm trying to bring awareness to it, which is very difficult. It's like fucking throwing acid in people's faces, right? So they don't want to know that shit. They don't care. They want to watch MTV or well, MTV, but you know what I mean. They want to watch football. They don't want to worry about fucking million people. Who gives a fuck? They don't worry about the thousands of people that went missing last month. The two go missing a minute. They don't want to worry about that. That's scary. But that's the numbers on it. 2 people a minute. Poof, into thin air, somewhere on this earth. Over a million people a year. There's only 525,000 minutes in a year. So two per year to get that million number, which is increasing every year. So it's definitely warfare. What else can you call it? Somehow a million people are disappeared and nobody cares. Wow, gee, mind blowing me. So good to see you, Shadow, though, and maybe see you Saturday, huh? Hey, Ron, and I'm Clinker Eagle. Good. More power to you, our way of life. Oh yeah. Talking with another Clink last night, and kind of had a little disagreement because of history and stuff like that. And that's sad because I mean I kept saying, hey, look, I'm not trying to like be some asshole or anything like that. I'm just trying to understand what's going on. Did you? Because I asked her, because she said, well, we go out in the woods and we do this and that. And I go, so have you been out there? Did you actually do it, or are you saying that your ancestors did it? Because I say that kind of stuff too, right? Our people refer to it as we. Like that's not really the best way to do it because it can be interpreted in multiple different ways. Like how people say, well, we brought in all the technology that we live under. We who's we? You got a turd in your pocket, No, Tesla brought in the fucking power, right? But you see what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden emotions get fucking flared up and boom, everybody hates each other now. No, that's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to get together and we're trying to accept each other. So we can't make those little spot immediate, let your emotions, oh fuck, that guy pissed me off, so fuck him, right? No, you gotta put those emotions aside. Otherwise you certainly will not get it together. And so I do that all the time. I have to bite my tongue all the time, right? Because I have to accept people. I can't sit there and tell them you can't tell people what to do or whatever, right? And they usually misunderstand me when I'm asking them about what they've done. They're, oh, well, trying to doubt me, right? No, I'm just trying to understand. Like, I ask people, have you gone in the creek? Have you gone in the cold water? Well, no. I'm like, okay. So I was just wondering, right? I'm not trying to say anything bad. I'm not trying to put you down. I'm just asking if you've done it. That kind of thing, right? See, so people misunderstand me all the time. So I try not to get into that kind of thing too much. But then again, people always ask me about it and want to talk about it. And I'm like hard to talk to them about it because they're going to get offended by something that I say and I won't even realize it. That kind of thing, That's the whole problem with the divide and conquer thing that's happening now. But we got to get it together, right? Get it together. Luckily, I'm getting a little bit of burst of sun between the trees right here, but I can see that the shadow on either side of me, and I'm going to go back to getting cold again here in a minute, and I got to change out of these cold shorts and going back home because probably getting time. I got shit I got to finish. But Shadow, you hear about the Iranian president? I have not, but you can tell me if you want to. But I have not. I have not been, as you guys know, completely different than when I first started doing this a long time ago when I was fucking literally following everything every day and bitching about it and getting bald spots in my head and stress and shit like that from shit that really doesn't affect my life at this moment, right? And so I was literally putting myself into it then, right? Because that was what I was doing back then, and I had to pull out of that because it was bringing the quality of my life down. Gotta find my joy, right? Find my joy so I could be my mom's baby boy once again. And so that's what I'm doing now, and I'm not trying to put my nose into things about it. Fuck Iran, right? Fuck those towel-headed fucking terrorists. I don't give a fuck. It doesn't hurt me. The thing that hurts me is paying attention to it. If I don't pay attention to it, hey, shit, I'm happy, right? So I made that decision a long time ago, as we all know. That's why I don't do that anymore. But Joe Carl, I mean, I just mean you got to have fun too, nothing but love. See, there you go. Good. Excellent. I'm glad now I understand that, right? And I got that anyway, mostly. And, people say something and other people interpret it the wrong way and jump to the wrong conclusion. Happens all the time. And so I'm not trying to do any of that. I'm trying to be cool, right? It's sure, constantly blabbing fucking out of my face, right? My words can be misunderstood and whatnot. Shadow, his helicopter crashed yesterday, and they're saying he's dead. Oh, no shit, huh? That's crazy. Yeah. Well, the same thing about the theater that is politics. It could be just another hoax and psyop, and they're just saying that, right? Just to get everybody worked up. Oh, yeah, it crashed. Oh, well, look, those guys brought it down. Oh, shit, war, right? And that's how they get war going. Could be all hearsay. Probably is. So, but no, not paying attention, so didn't know any of that. Yeah, it's starting to get cold, so I'm going to have to shut it down here. I want to thank you guys for joining over an hour. Fuck, over an hour? God damn it. Time flies when you have fun, right? But no, the sun is going to disappear in a second. I'm going to be freezing here in a minute, so I got to get dressed and stuff and bounce. So big love to everybody. Thank you for joining. I'm gonna try to do a live while I'm on the road here on Wednesday or no, tomorrow. I'm gonna be on the road tomorrow. So look for that. I'll probably do a little bit, mount the phone in the dash this time so I don't have to hold it, and we'll get a little couple lives going on the road so you guys can see some of the state, and that'd be fun. So I look forward to that. And fuck yeah, I gotta change right now. I'm freezing. Thanks a lot. Thanks for joining, you guys. Hey, thank you for being here. You guys know that. I appreciate it, all of you, every time. Helps me a lot. Flying totally solo up here. I only have, you guys are literally my support system, literally the only friends. Yeah, I got a few here and there, right? Physically here, but you guys are my people. We have our hearts in the same direction, and we're still trying to get it together, right? And so yeah, if you're gonna come up, Joe, man, shit, I'd encourage that, absolutely, and I would look forward to meeting you too, right? So, all right, big love. I'm gonna catch you guys up with you guys soon, and get out there and have some fun. Boost your immune system now. Keep your attitude good. Don't let those things over and around fuck with you too much. It's just like Eckhart Tolle said, accessing the power now. Look around you right now. Is there a threat? Is your life in danger at this moment? No? All right then. So it's okay then. You're cool, right? And so that's accessing the power now, right? Right now, no danger, no threat. Okay, so what am I tripped out about, right? Okay, see, you get it? Took me a while to even understand that concept. I had to listen to Eckhart. I listened to him over this one thing I had in the headphones when I went hike. I listened to that thing fucking every day for weeks before it finally started to sink in what he meant. Accessing the power now. His story is that he was going to commit suicide, right? Because he couldn't handle it. It was too much. He was future tripping too much, right? The future, oh my God, Satan, the devil, all that, right? He's going to, oh my God, I can't do it. I can't take it. So he was going out to kill himself, he says. This is his own story, right? And on his way, he got tired and he sat down on this park bench, right? And he just started watching people in the park, people walking their dogs and all that stuff and having fun. And he started to have such a good time that, he stopped thinking about killing himself. He said he sat there on that park bench for 3 fucking days. 3 days. He sat there and watched. And after that, he started to be a self-help guru, and he's fucking actually well-known, and he's a great guy. You got to look him up, man. If you haven't listened to him, do so. Eckhart Tolle, just a little guy, a little goofy-looking guy, but, I mean, the way he talks and his accent and stuff like that. But if you can let his words sink in, man, holy shit, they will change you. They will change you, just like he changed right there in that park bench going, damn, everything's okay. Okay, I guess I don't have to kill myself every now, right? It's fucking cool shit. Cheers. So yeah, Eckhart, man, look him up. Helped me a lot. I don't listen to him as much as I used to anymore, but every once in a while I still break out that same thing that I listen to, accessing the power of now. Right? He says it very simply: do you live in the past? Do you live there, or do you live in the future? No, you live right now. There's no way to live in the future or the past. You can only live right now. So, make the best of the moment. The eternal now, right? Because it's always now. Never anything in the past or in the future. It's always now. Even if the next moment's now then, it's still not now then. It's now. Hard to get, right? All right. Love y'all. Damn, look at these time at high school in French, Jesus means I am. Good. I'm coming up with a bit on that. I don't know if he was going to hate me for it, but it's pretty funny, right? When you actually get to talk to Jesus, and Jesus is going to say, no, it's actually pronounced Jesus. I don't know where the Jesus comes from, right? I find it kind of humorous, but I'm sure everybody will hate me for it. But oh fuck, Joe Crow, I am Christ or Jesus Christ, Christian I am, yeah, Christian Christ in, right? It's having the Christ consciousness, and so yes, You're not actually Jesus, but you have Christ consciousness. You're part of it, right? Sean Mass, don't kill yourself. Vote Joe Biden instead. Yeah. Slow death that way, right? No, it's still kill yourself. But Jim Crow, Wim Hof. Yeah. I was talking to that kid about Wim Hof earlier today that was here. Okay, there it is. It's behind the tree now. Burr. All right. Yeah, Wim Hof. I recommend people always look him up too, man. Great teacher there. All right, big love, everybody. I'm going to catch up with you very soon. Fuck, I forget how to do this. Oh, yeah, okay. Get out there, boost the immune system, give everybody a hug, and I'll see you next time. Cheers. Doo-doo.